I've come along to White Crags today and I thought I would talk you through 4 of my favourite fairway wood options on the market just now. Just give you everything you need to know about these clubs, let you know how I got on after testing them and why I am such a big fan of these 4. First off though, before I dive into everything, if you're new to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. So I've got 4 fairway woods here. I've got the Srixon ZX, I have the TaylorMade SIM2 Titanium, Cobra RADSPEED and Titleist TSi3. And there's a good reason why I've picked these 4 fairway woods in particular, and that's because they all do something a little bit different. First off, I'll get you started on the TSi3, and this is my fairway wood. I've had it in my bag now for a little over a year, and this for me is one of the best players fairway woods out on the market. Now what do I mean by that? Well, it's incredibly versatile. If you consider yourself to be a decent ball striker, a high swing speed player, low handicap, that kind of fit, I think this is an option that you're going to have to consider. Now, the fact that we have the sure fit adjustability within the sole just means you can dial this club in a little bit more. It's got a nice compact head shape, nice classic look to it, and it offers the kind of performance I really look for from a fairway wood. It's not an absolute bomber off the tee, but delivers good distance. It's versatile, so you can approach greens from long range. If I'm going into a par 5, trying to get the ball up high and stopping quickly, it allows me to do it. And yeah, it allows you to pull off all the shots. If you're in that better player bracket and you want a fairway that's going to do a lot of things, I think this is such a great option. Then you bring in the adjustability, and yeah, that's why it's in my bag. I think it looks really smart, really classic, sounds fantastic, and it's just that versatility, and yeah, one for the better players. Next up, the SIM2 Titanium. Now, I've picked the SIM2 over the SIM2 Max because, again, I think it really hits a sweet spot for probably a lot of golfers out there. It offers tons of ball speed, tons of distance. It's the longest fairway wood in the test I've got today. I'll run through the numbers a little bit later on. But again, it's also versatile, it has some adjustability. But where this thing really comes into its own, I think, is on the power side of things. If you're looking for a fairway wood that is going to be really reliable off the tee, if you're not too keen on your driver, if you're having a bad time with your driver, this thing is going to offer tons of distance, and that's just something you might need, try and get as far down the fairway as possible. Also really like this fairway wood because of the twist face technology. Just something that helps with the accuracy. Again, really comes into its own off the tee. Although in my opinion it's not quite as versatile as the Titleist, it is still able to pull off a lot of the shots. It's a nice compact squat head shape, really easy to pick up off the turf, so it is good off the fairway, allows you to get out the rough fairly well, but where it comes into its own is off the tee. This is a bit of a powerhouse, and that's why it's made it into these 4 that I'm testing today. Now onto the Srixon ZX, and when I first tested this fairway wood, I was a little bit surprised with the performance, but pleasantly surprised. And what this thing allows you to do is launch the ball into the air. If you need help getting the ball up off the turf, if you want a fairway that's going to give you a nice, high, powerful ball flight, really just launches into the sky, this is the one to do it. The fact that we've got a relatively flat sole here just means that off the turf, it picks up the golf ball no problem whatsoever. The relatively large head shape, that confidence-inspiring look, again, off the deck, this is an absolute dream. And then off the tee, it's somewhat of a fairway finder. Maybe it doesn't possess the power and the distance of the TaylorMade, but it just launches high, really stable look to it. Yeah, it was something that was a little bit of a surprise to me, but whenever I've tested it, I've just been such a big fan. I think some areas where it's maybe lacking a wee bit is the fact that we don't have any adjustability. And in the looks department, I'm not too keen on the step crown design, but those are just minor things. As I say, this is high launching, an absolute high bomber 3-wood. Off the deck, superb, really good fairway finder off the tee. Yeah, a real pleasant surprise. Last but by no means least, the Cobra RADSPEED, and there are 2 reasons why this is one of my favourite fairway woods, and they're on the sole of the golf club. These baffler dual rails. Now this is a technology that's been around in Cobra woods for quite a few years now, and it's these that make them so user friendly no matter where you are on the golf course, out the rough, off the deck. If you're in a fairway bunker, these just help the club glide through the turf, glide along the top of the turf, and help you when you're in tricky situations. Honestly, as a recovery wood, this thing is absolutely superb. Plus the fact that we've got adjustability within the hosel, we've got new technology with the radial weighting, pushing weight further forward, giving you some more ball speed. We've got the CNC milling. You know, it's a tech-packed fairway wood, but where it is at its absolute best is in the tricky situations. This is a get-out-of-jail club, and that's why I love it so much. So I'll run you through the numbers I got with my Skytrack using Pro V1 golf balls, and as you'll see, they're all doing slightly different jobs. That's why I've picked these 4 fairway woods. You can see that the Titleist TSi, my 3 wood, is hitting the kind of numbers I want to see. A nice launch window, nice controlled spin window, nice peak heights, good solid distance. It's doing everything I want. It's my kind of barometer. When we go to the TaylorMade Sim, you can see that the ball speed has jumped up by 2 miles an hour. You can see I'm getting some more distance, but I'm not getting quite the peak height or the descent angle. And that's what I'm saying earlier on. You know, this is a real powerhouse off the tee for me, and that's why I liked it so much. It's giving you some more distance, and for some of you, that may be exactly what you want from your fairway wood. Now on to the Srixon ZX, and as I said earlier on, high launching, and look at that launch angle. It's through the roof, the peak height through the roof. It's absolutely fantastic, but crucially the spin rates aren't climbing too much, so you're still retaining solid distance. And then finally the Cobra RADSPEED, just solid all round. You know, it's kind of in about that same area as my Titleist TSi3, so a good solid all round performer. And yeah, just that's the thing, you know, they're all slightly different in terms of what they're delivering and the numbers, and for you, they might deliver slightly different numbers. You know, there's so many models out there. It's about going and trying them for yourselves and seeing which one gives you the performance you need. So all 4 of these fairway woods, an absolute joy to play with out in the golf course. 4 of my favourites for this year. If I was going to pick one to go in my bag, I'd be sticking with TSi3, just because that's the one that gives me the performance I'm looking for. It ticks all the boxes for me. But I think across all 4 of those options, you've got something to suit pretty much every type of golfer, whether you're low handicap, better player, or higher handicap, you know, looking for high launch, lots of forgiveness, or whether you're looking for a real powerhouse off the tee. There's something there for everyone. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Any questions about fairway woods, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you, and thanks for watching.